In the next video, I'll show you how to operate the fridge in any of our motorhomes. The fridge is exactly the same in the luxury and the family motorhome, so this video applies to both vehicle categories. First, we need to turn the fridge on. Control panel doesn't have to be on. It's completely separate. It's not controlled by the control panel. We need to press the button, keep it pressed for 1 or 2 seconds. The board will light up and we should see a small green LED light here. We should also see the letter A just light up here. That means the fridge is on automatic setting. That means it's going to use the best source available for the conditions. So right now the motorhome is parked up. We are not hooked up on the mains electrics and the engine is switched off. Therefore, the only supply that we can use is, or source, is the gas. And that's what it's going to try to do. As you can see, this little symbol here just represents the gas as a source. So it's going to try and fire up the gas to cool down the fridge. As you can see, it just went into error mode. If the control board is flashing and this LED light is red, that means there is an error with the source. First, we need to start troubleshooting here in the gas locker, and we need to make sure that there is enough gas in the gas cylinder. As you can see on this gauge, the cylinder is half full, so we do have enough gas in the cylinder. And you just need to make sure, I'm just showing this from above, the full and the empty is very close. The full mark and the empty mark are very close to each other, so you need to make sure that the gas cylinder is actually full and not empty. If you see the reading just right in between the minimum and the maximum range. So the gas has been filled up. The next thing that we need to do is open the isolator tap. This opens by turning it anti-clockwise, and you don't need to fully open it, just turn it a few turns and leave it like that, so it's loose to both sides. So this way we are 100% sure that the valve is open here. And the third thing to check is that little green button there. This is called a crash valve on the regulator, and basically the function is that in case if the vehicle gets involved in an accident, it cuts off all the gas supply to the habitation area. But unfortunately, it can just activate, it can get activated by driving into a big pothole or driving over a speed bump. So if there is no gas supply to any of the appliances, then this could be the problem. The easiest way to check whether there is gas supply going into the appliances is by lighting up the hob. If the hob lights up properly and produces the required flame, that means this valve is okay, and also we have gas supply from cylinder. If we need to reset this one, we need to use the habitation key and press this button in fully and keep it pressed for 10-15 seconds at least. So after 10-15 seconds, the actual crash valve will be reset and we can try and light up the appliance. Now that we've checked everything and we have gas supply to the fridge, we will need to try and reset the fault. To do this, first we need to switch the fridge off by pressing and holding the power button for a few seconds. Once the panel goes off, we need to press the button again for 2 seconds and it will turn back on. And it's going to try to do the ignition sequence now, and it should stay on. I'm going to explain the fridge display and the controls. Obviously the left square button is the fridge power button. We've already explained that. And this button, if we press it briefly, it's going to wake up the display and just show the current fridge settings. You should always see the auto letter just lit up here, that means the fridge is in auto source selection mode, and you should never ever change it to manual, otherwise you may just have different sort of problems with the fridge if the source is not available. If we keep this button pressed, then we can go into the source selection. As I said, if you see any of these other sources, one is gas, the other one is battery, the third one is mains electrics, always just switch it back to auto, press the gray button briefly, and here you can select how cold you want the fridge to be. I would recommend to leave it on maximum, because the fridge is not as efficient as it would be if it was a normal household fridge. And press the button one more time and we finalize the settings. So basically it should be always on auto. I'll quickly explain the different sources. So one is the LPG, and it's the auto selector will select LPG if no other source is available. The middle one is the battery. As you see, the battery means leisure battery, and it's only going to be used as a source if the engine is running. As soon as the engine is switched off, the selector will just go off the battery, and you won't be able to use this as a source if you don't have gas and if you are not hooked up on the mains. And the third one is mains electrics. That's pretty obvious. If you hooked up on the mains electric system and at the campsite, the fridge will use this as the primary source. Basically that's it. It's pretty simple and maintenance free.